this is the Tarot and Oracle forecast for the month of September 2018. We have a look at those big energies that will definitely touch on some part of your lives. For some of you, this could tell you the whole story for your life for September. For others of you, only certain aspects will touch on you. If you'd like questions answered, if you'd like guidance or clarity about anything in your life, and you'd like a reading for it, or you'd like an amazing, incredible soulmate reading, please contact me via the links in the description box below. Right, so on the 25th of August, I think that is Saturday, there is a grand Earth trine. So there's a trine between the Sun, Uranus, and Saturn. As many of you may know, or some of you may know, the trine energy is a harmonious energy. The Sun represents I want to always say the ego, the self, the identity with self. Uranus is that planet that brings in surprises. Not always great surprises, but it can be great surprises too. Uranus's main objective in life is to shake loose all that stuck stuff, you know. And then Saturn is the master of time. He's the one that does things incrementally, step by step. He will not be rushed. But he's also the one that lays the firm foundations for the future. He's the one that lays firm enough foundations that you can build something truly great that will stand the test of time, basically. So trine between these three planets and a harmonious alignment of planets of these three planets says that there's going to be something that is central to your core identity that gets shaken loose, but it sets a very firm foundation or course for the future. So let's have a look at what the sort of themes or the types of ways that these energies can play out. Firstly, I'm going to do it for your relationship life, and then we'll do the fated elements that could possibly be what plays this alignment out in the 25th of August, okay? And also, some of you may have noticed I did not record a weekly reading. Apologies for that. I had a major ear infection and I was rather miserable, but it's better now. Right, let's move on to the reading. So you'll see for the relationship reading, and I thought for a change, even though I always say the readings are specifically only or are not specifically only for romance, I thought let's deal this time with relationships that are romantic, one-on-one relationships that have that deep emotional connection. So you get love yourself first, children, give your relationship a chance, romantic feelings, worth waiting for, separation, and true love. So love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I think that's the big lesson coming. Lesson. Okay. Let's use another word. That's the big experience coming. For all of us, it's about sort of ascertaining our self-worth ourselves. Instead of referring outward to people for how we feel about ourselves, Saturn will often be involved in this, and Uranus is the one that pulls that rug out from underneath us to sort of say, hey, take note. So all of us will, in some way or another, come to terms with where we thought we were lacking, especially in self-esteem, and we sort of start building on that, or build on it fairly quickly, or realizing that it's lacking. So the themes I see here where your relationships will do this is children, relationships that have been a bit rocky, and relationships that need the romance back in them again. So for some of you, it could involve children. There's so many scenarios this could play out. Your children could be directly impacting on your relationships. Lack of children could be impacting on relationships. Lack of your childlike energy could be. That give your relationship a chance is perhaps not throwing in the towel too early, perhaps knowing that you should go the distance. Romantic feelings means perhaps it needs to be brought back into the relationship again. Romance needs to be brought back in the relationship again. If we look at the final three cards, worth waiting for, separation, and true love. For some of you, it's time to call it a day. And for those of you whom this applies to, you're going to know. This is no surprise to you. You're going to make that decision yourself, in fact. But some sort of situation will trigger it. Some kind of Uranian situation is going to trigger that decision for you. And it's just finally, it's time out. For others of you, it's going to be that relationship you've been waiting for a long time, or if you've been waiting a long time for your relationship to get onto a solid footing. Actually, I more want to say it's on a solid footing. You've been waiting for it to go to now the long-term level. This is when it happens, and it was worth waiting for. It was worth that final little sort of confrontation with something that made you feel as if you weren't worth a long-term relationship. That Uranian energy is going to do that for you, and you deal with it, and you can actually move on to the next level. For others of you, this is true love coming in now. Genuinely true love coming in for you now. You are ready for it. You have made that final learning curve, growth experience, growth edge, whatever you want to call it. And you are ready for the long-term potential relationship, a relationship that has long-term written all over it. Those of you that have gone through relationships one after the other, and there's a lot of you at the moment because I'm doing a lot of readings like that, there is a whole story involved in why we attract people into our lives that go or don't fulfill expectations. If you would like me to address that for you, then consider a reading. We'll do a reading, and I will also explain to you what the dynamics is behind that and how to deal with it. And I think often when one actually realizes what the dynamic is, it's quick and simple to deal with it, and you can move on to having those sustaining relationships. Okay, I was sort of kind of pushed to say that for you this week, so there it is. So if we look at the fated elements that comes with this special alignment, we get the horseshoe, the gavel, the peacock, the desk, the man, the scissors, the whale, the bag, the dog, the boot, the kite, and finally victory. So definitely ends in victory, which is not surprising considering this is a trine and considering this is quite heavy planets involved in it, right? The horseshoe says ultimately you started off with good fortune and you ended off with victory. So no matter how this plays out, be aware of the fact this is good fortune. It's good luck, no matter how it's dressed. And ultimately it leads to something victorious in your life. That involvement with the law is, to me, contractual. When this shows up in these readings, it's usually contractual. Be aware of great pride. Sometimes that means needing to say sorry. Sometimes that means needing to accept that part of what's happening is one's own dynamics, that you're feeding into the situation. That pay attention to your work, says keep your eye on the ball. There's a man involved here in much of the situation, so it's male energy. That person, that male energy disappoints you or has disappointed you in some way. The whale says great worry over nothing though. The way they disappoint you or what is disappointing, or if they've disappointed you in the past and you're now dealing with this disappointment, the worry of the outcome of this is greater than what actually follows on. There's something important, such as a new job or a raise. It leads you to a new goal. It leads you to an aspiration. It's like it clears the way for that. It says that there is protection from a powerful friend. This can literally be a friend, or from the other realms. I think a lot of the time at the moment, the other realms are helping a lot of you out. And the boot says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. The kite says vacation. And the final card is victory. So you're going to work for what you want. You're then going to get time out and it's going to be victorious. So ultimately, there's a few energies involved. Yeah? There's contracts involved. It can be literally written contracts or verbal contracts you have with someone. You know, an agreement you have with someone, even if it's not spelled out, is an agreement nonetheless. There is pride involved here. There's disappointment involved here. There's too much worry involved here, because ultimately you will get that raise, that job, that's something that you were looking for. You're going to have to put in the time and effort, but you will be rewarded with victory and a vacation. So that's all the energies that are coming with this grand Earth trine. Very nice if you ask me. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Right, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you would like a personal private reading, I'm just going to repeat again, or that amazing soulmate reading, please contact me via the links in the description box below. You can either email or go to the website and book or purchase a reading. I want to thank you for watching, listening, commenting, liking and subscribing. And also to those of you that are sharing my videos, a very, very special thank you. I truly appreciate it.